y'all. My name is Shayna Jane, a certified sobriety health and wellness coach with 14 years of experience in the treatment industry, and also my own history with substance abuse. As the founder and CEO of Controlled Chaos, I've made it my mission to provide a supportive community for those facing alcoholism and addiction. This podcast is a real, no-nonsense exploration of life in sobriety. No sugarcoating, just real, honest conversations. Life after addiction can be a crazy, wild ride. And here at Controlled Chaos, we're here to tackle it head on. From navigating relationships to finding purpose, we're your lifeline in chaos. Let's dive into the real challenges of sobriety and carve out our path together. I love y'all mucho. Let's go.
All right, so welcome to Controlled Chaos. You want to go ahead and introduce yourself, Carly?
My name is Carly Reed, and I am a recovering addict. And I just wrote a poetry book recently on recovery and the spiritual growth that I've experienced during recovery. So my girlfriend and I run a Trust Your Message page, and our mission at Trust Your Message is to cultivate community and destigmatize addiction through the power of shared stories and connection. We are committed to fostering a supportive and empathetic social platform where individuals in recovery can find strength and inspiration. We believe in the transformative potential of every individual's journey, recognizing that within the struggles of addiction lies a unique message waiting to be uncovered. So it's all about finding the message within your mess.
I love it. So you guys usually spotlight people and their sobriety time and kind of just giving them like encouragement and congratulations for making it how far they've made it, right?
Yeah, and not only a lot of our posts and a lot of our connections are there. First of all, everyone from all over the world, and a lot of them are sober and in recovery, but some of them are not. Some of them, one guy is a doctor who just wrote a book and studies addiction. Another person is artist from Nashville, a musician who, works or promotes mental health with her music. My sister, for example, she does therapy, and so anybody who really just has, you don't have to be an addict or in recovery, but just has a positive message that can help somebody that's in recovery. So we don't really limit it to just, okay, what's your sobriety date? You have to be sober. You have to be struggling with addiction in order to communicate with us. We want to have it be like, we're trying to create like a toolbox where you can see actual people and hear their stories, or you can find resources that relate or just encourage you in your recovery.
So I love that, because that's basically what this podcast is about, right? There's a lot of people, including me, who have their recovery journey and their recovery story, but really it's about finding tools as health, financial stuff, everything that can help you in your journey, So I like that.
Thank you. Yeah, exactly.
So can you tell us a little bit about your recovery?
My recovery, so I am just a little over 10 months sober now, and I got sober February 16th, 2023 from multiple substances. I've been an addict for 14 years, and I'm on top of struggling with addiction, I also struggle with mental health and body dysmorphia. So that three really nice combo, I'm in recovery for, I would say, all of those, because the addiction was really just what kind of masked everything else that was hiding underneath. So once I was able to say, okay, I'm going to get sober, try it, then I was able to find underneath of that all the other issues, such as the body dysmorphia, the mental health issue, the eating disorder, and face all of that head on without running from it with substances.
Right. So I find that most people in recovery or that struggle with addiction, alcoholism, have co-occurring disorders. Something that you mentioned was your book and how it really helped you. How do you feel that, like, kind of letting that out and doing that kind of art helped you in your journey?
Oh my gosh, it helped me tremendously. It was such a release. It helped me because what happened was to fight my cravings and to get through the recovery period, which I still have to write. And I would write out the things that were bothering me, the things that were on my mind, the things I was struggling with. And then whatever the flavor of the day would be, whether it would be, oh, okay, here I have a craving. Now I'm writing, oh, this is something to do with my mental health today. Or, oh, I have a craving. I'm writing, oh, this is something to do with my body dysmorphia. So I was uncovering these things, or, my insecurities, lack of confidence, like what things was I lacking, or, even just like societal things, what things am I chasing that aren't from God, or that aren't, that I shouldn't be worshiping, like things I'm idolizing that I shouldn't. So it really just uncovered a bunch of things that the substances had been masking for so long. So I would say the most beautiful part about the poetry is that everybody can relate to it, but also it helped me with a lot of self-discovery because I was facing my problems as I wrote them.
I love that, because I think we think a lot about, as far as like our toolbox and things like that, we think a lot about maybe more physical things like going for a walk or, things like that. But we kind of forget about our art side, or like music, things like that. Those have a big impact on kind of calming your system and getting you back to woosah, right?
Exactly. Yeah, it was really nice finding those creative outlets and finding ways to express the things I was feeling, like the negative feelings I had, and expressing them in healthy ways, like through art. Like, yeah, some of the poems and some of my art is pretty dark, but at least I wasn't doing like the dark things that I use, that I would do, like using. I was writing about it instead. And, like one poem that's really significant that comes to mind is when I hit 6 months of sobriety, I wanted to relapse. I was kind of like, okay, I'm over this sober thing. Like I just really am not wanting to do this that much. And so anyway, but I knew that I'd made it too far to stop now, and I knew it wasn't the right thing to do. So what I did was instead I wrote about, okay, let me write about the first time I relapsed when I got out of rehab. So I ended up writing instead. And then I wrote a really pretty poem that was, I wouldn't say pretty, it was very raw and vulnerable and kind of like, really hits when you read it. But I ended up writing instead of relapsing, which was really cool. And every time I read that poem, I'm like, wow, this poem saved me from a relapse.
Right. And that's really awesome. Now, one thing that I know that you went through, in your whole journey was like the tornado or something like that. How did that affect everything that you went through? Hurricane. There we go. I was like, I know something bad happened.
Yeah, it was just an unexpected natural disaster, and it took my home unexpectedly out of nowhere. And I feel like that kind of just ripped the Band-Aid off. So substances were a Band-Aid for a very long time. And then that tornado, or now you have me calling it a tornado, that hurricane just exposed everything that was hiding underneath. And I had to completely start over after that. I ended up losing multiple things after that. There were failed relationships and people that ended up leaving my life, just like the tornado took my house. And that was really hard. That was the hardest year of my life, was when after that hurricane. And so, yeah, so that really just kind of exposed everything. It was like I didn't have a place to hide anymore. Like I couldn't go home and hide and use in my house alone, or what, it just was like it felt like it just came and like just created this mess and just threw all my crap all over the place. And then I was left to pick up the pieces pretty much. It was very,
and is that when you got sober?
Yes, I ended up getting sober a couple months after the hurricane, after I went on a 3-month bender.
I mean, we got to do that first, right?
I had to go out with a bang, No, I'm kidding. I wasn't planning on doing that. I wasn't planning on getting sober. I was hurting so much and I wanted to avoid. And I did not feel much after the hurricane because I was masking and I was on my bender. And then finally we spoke a little before, and I hit rock bottom when I realized like I didn't want to be here. And that was because the substances kind of stopped doing the job. Like they weren't serving me anymore. They weren't giving me that feeling. I wasn't able to accomplish or to gain that high or that drunk anymore. And that's when I realized like, okay, there's a real problem here. And the only way it's going to get fixed is if I eliminate the one thing that's masking it. And that was all the substances.
Right. Well, I love that. And I love that you wrote a book. Now, your book is called Human.
Human Behind the Mask.
Okay. And where can they purchase it at if they're interested in getting it?
It's Human Behind the Mask, and you can purchase it on Amazon.
Yay. Do you want to read us one of your poems before we let you go?
Yes, I will read the one called Coming Undone because we were talking about the hurricane. So this kind of explains how everything unravels and there's always a beautiful beginning, even when it feels like it's the end. So let me just find it 1 second. Okay, Coming Undone. Wrapped within a mastered art of chaos, disaster can be so gorgeous. Heavy clouds and smoke, I prefer to design beauty, form it into my own, sink into the depths of shadows, a fascinating story to be told, physically distant but connect with your soul. Nature demonstrates nothing can stay the same. The seasons change and we are reborn. Most captivating part of a storm is freedom of the wind. Everything comes undone, then you start again.
I love it. Well, thank you for being with us, Carly. Is there
Thank you.
anything else you want to leave the viewers with today?
Just to seek the if you are experiencing doubt or anything that's in negativity or any sort of mess in your life, to seek the message within it. And I think that can allow you to really overcome anything. It's just finding the message and seeking that constantly. And that helps you with every little battle that you have to face, because we're going to have to keep facing them. So, and just a reminder that you're beautiful and you are loved.
Yay. Well, thank you so much for coming.
Thank you. Bye.